If you have stumbled upon this video, you have recently probably had a stroke. You're doing your best to pull your life back together again. Take heart. You have come to the right place. My purpose is to show you it is possible to come back almost as good as new. I should know because I suffered a crippling stroke. Couldn't walk, couldn't talk, flat my back. And I came back despite a not so positive, optimistic prognosis from the medical community. I was 56 when the stroke happened. I'm 75 now and I'm still improving. My name is Rick Palomino, and this should be required watching if you had had a stroke at all recently. I will not be giving medical advice. I'm not a medical doctor, but I am giving mental or attitudinal advice, exercises that I found very helpful. Again, depend on your doctors and therapists first for advice. But in my case, after a short time, the doctors couldn't do anything further for me other than monitor my condition, and recovery takes years. If you like this video, please smash the like button and hit the subscribe button so that you are available for further episodes. Don't give in to stroke. Here I was, flat on my back, unable to speak or move, white coats all around me, and I thought maybe it was some very terrible, unpleasant dream. But little did I realize, the longer it went on, maybe it was my worst nightmare. Little did I realize at that time how much I would have to relearn to do simple little tasks I used to perform with ease. Like simple tasks like not burning my hand on a hot stove because I didn't realize it was on the stove and it was dragging across the burners, and after a stroke, your hand, well, if it affects your hand, my right hand was definitely affected. It was burned, and you didn't even realize it. But anyway, and that's what, not talking about the more complicated tasks like speaking a foreign language or playing classical guitar, and I used to perform pieces like Bach, and now it's totally forgotten. Anyway, if I had known how much I would have to do, I would fall into the depths of depression. So maybe it's just as well I didn't realize. Heck, I was so out of it, I was invited for lunch at a fine Florentine restaurant. A luncheon arranged by the Fresco Baldi family of wine fame, and I thought, hey, if I can just slightly improve, I'll get out of this hospital and still make the luncheon from my Siena hospital. The purpose of this blog, or vlog as they call it, video blog, is to give stroke victims hope that with hard work, anything is possible. And I'm going to recount what happened in my mind, blow by blow, how I progressed, how I sped it up. I think maybe some of my exercises are very helpful for forcing the issue. And maybe you'll see similarities or differences in what you perceive as opposed to what I perceived at the time. I suggest you take from it anything you want. I hope I'm helpful. My intention is to remove from you worries that what you are experiencing now is not what you're going to experience in the future. In my case, I was flying blind on the whole, because at that time on the internet, most of the articles posted were by the medical profession, and frankly, they hadn't had a stroke. So this is a blog from the patient's perspective, not the doctor's. And I assume you're having the same concerns and problems. I was flown to Mass General Hospital after my condition in Italy stabilized, and that was roughly in 2 weeks. And one day, a young woman, came in to change my sheets. I don't know whether she was a nurse's assistant, that doesn't matter. And as she helped me up, she whispered in my ear like it was a secret. You're not supposed to say that, but to patients, apparently. She said, "Take heart. I had a stroke myself." And what's important about that is that woman looked totally normal to me. She moved normally, she talked normally, and therefore I thought, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's the most optimistic thing anyone had said to me in weeks. One of the unknown things, if you had a stroke, is how will I ever, to what extent will I ever recover from this? You don't realize that you will have to work your butt off, and I mean work your butt off, to make any progress at all. Heck, at first you're just lying in bed, barely aware of your surroundings. All the literature on the internet is very depressing, as I said at first. Even if you can understand simple words and phrases, and often you can't. You're confused. And the doctors are just as depressing, as I said, not wanting to give you false hope. Because stroke affects the body and the mind. I described it once as having had your brain blown apart, and then you have the job of assembling the pieces and putting it back together again. I had fallen pretty low, and my future seemed very dire at the beginning. But I realized soon, the longer I stay in a poor me state, the longer and harder the recovery would be. The quicker I learned to heal myself and establish the reconnections of the brain, the easier it's going to be in the long run, even if in the short run it's much more difficult. And for example, I play oftentimes golf now better than I did before the stroke. I was never a good golfer, so maybe that's not a valid comparison of what I'm talking about in terms of speeding the recovery. I used to type at 60 words a minute on a manual typewriter using both hands. I took typing in high school, so no, not to meet girls, but that's one of the benefits, because with odds of 28 to 1, 28 to 2, in those days only very few guys took typing in high school. So that, therefore, the odds are greatly increased in your favor. But anyway, I was typing at 60 words a minute, and after my stroke, I couldn't type at all. I couldn't even touch a keyboard. Then, slowly but surely, I'd have to face the decision. Now I'm on a computer, and do I type with one hand, my left valid hand, and then ignore the right hand? Or do I make the great effort to type the way I used to before my stroke? And it was tough. So think of it this way. Say like you leave a month distance or 2 months for this comparison. After a month of typing with my left hand only, maybe I'm at 15 words a minute now. Whereas by trying both hands at the outset, I would be at 5, because I made so many mistakes with my right hand. But in the long term, after a month or 2, now I'm up to 20. And therefore, I can proceed to make getting as close as possible back to my 30 and 60 because you hindered with one hand, because you'll never type fast with one hand. So that's the situation you have, and that's the decision you have to make. I made the decision for the harder way in every case. Now granted, to get things done, if it's something I didn't spend all day, I spent 2 seconds when to write with my right hand was impossible. I was relearning. I would write a little and with my left. But on the whole, I practice with my right hand. I use both hands in practicing typing. And that's the system I used on the whole. But I'll get into more of that in the next episode. The important thing is just keep yourself moving forward. As I constantly preach, never backwards. That's all. So look forward every day to making a very small improvement, especially for the first year of the stroke. You will experience an exhaustion like you never felt before. You will learn terms like specificity or muscle adhesions, and you never probably used those terms before. You don't give in to stroke. That's what's really important. You just have to summon a patience and a determination, probably that you never summoned before. In my case, the left side of the brain, which means affects the right side of the body. And one of the good things about the move to Florida is that when I shake hands with people, they don't instantly look at me and say, "Why is this? You have cold hands." That forces me in a position of either admitting, well, my hands are cold because I had a stroke, or making an excuse. And I tended to, in a business setting, make an excuse. When I met people in a business setting, I immediately, I just came in from the cold, or whatever. Anything to not let them know they're dealing with a stroke victim, because they'll perceive you differently. That's one of the good things about Florida. You don't have to make that excuse. Fight that you are not defined by your stroke. You can't imagine how excited I was one day to pick up a golf ball. I'm not saying hit the golf ball. I'm just saying pick it up. My right side of my body was totally paralyzed, and I very slowly worked it back, and one day I picked up a golf ball. I was never a great golfer, and I'm still not. And Tiger Woods has no fears from me. But for me, the greatest excitement of my recent life is just after my stroke was, at a certain point, very simple tasks. Accomplishing them. The sense of accomplishment is important to get back in your life. And I accomplished picking up a golf ball. Anything to do with not giving into your stroke. It's like my right hand was affected. So think of this, I had a right hand where those carnival or arcade games where giant claw drops down, and you manipulate it, and then you pick up a prize and put it in the dump truck. Well, that's how my hand felt. Very inexact and very sloppy. But I picked up the golf ball. I'm going to go through the various techniques again, starting with episode 2. So I'll sign off this episode. I would be remiss, though, if I did not acknowledge the enormous debt I owe my wife, my children, family, friends, colleagues at work, who removed many of the financial and emotional worries at this time, and the support they gave me. Finally, I want to shout out to Rick's Wine Consultancy, which is a small company I run, and for providing the financial support to make this blog possible. Thank you very much.